the sort of police state was going to take over the nation's capital and is going to create, these sort of National Guard situations. Obviously, those that want to joke around about big balls and the guy who was working for Doge and was attacked in the streets. And again, that's terrible. But the more I look into that, the more I'm thinking this might have been a setup from day one, because in the end, the powers that be, whether it's Trump or anyone that is surrounding him, they know that the general public is getting restless. They also know that the general public is going to potentially try to march on the city regarding Israel. And so what are they doing now? They're sending in the National Guard to basically march the streets of Washington, D.C., particularly in the working class and vulnerable areas of the city, even the rough and tough areas of the city, where they are, trying to make a point, trying to set precedent, acceptance of this police state that they're bringing down on us. If they'll have it in the eastern part of Washington, they're not going to do it in the northwestern part of Washington, for example. But, just trying to put that.
I'm sure it's definitely neighborhood specific, but this is something that's been in the works for a long time, not necessarily the taking over DC, but all of the cop cities. And if people are not aware about cop cities, I believe there's more than 100 of them at this point that have popped up all over the country that are basically urban warfare training centers for law enforcement. But they have been preparing. This goes back to actually Ferguson, is when I think there's the beginning of the planning phases of being able to stifle civil unrest at the level that they feel they need to. And then obviously after that, you had Black Lives Matter, and it's just been snowballing. So yeah, this is the plan. Now, Trump has obviously a much different authority in DC than he does in other states. So it will be interesting to see. Like, there are certain things that, and I don't know enough about this, by the way, like what is allowed and not allowed in the district versus, because there's definitely he has authority in a way in that district that he doesn't in other municipalities.
Well, as Molly points out, this should come as no surprise to anybody that the intention, of course, is to create this sort of police state, because, again, the people are rising up and the powers that be are, again, what do you get when you spend or you allocate capital to the tune of $1 trillion for defense? Well, defending the nation's capital from people who are going to be creating unrest, well, this is one of those reasons. Again, the whole thing with big balls, it's just a distraction. It's an excuse. They were looking for a reason to get the National Guard in the streets. And crime is at low. Crime is at a low. Crime has been decreasing. Certainly violent crime has been decreasing for decades now. And actually, violent crime in DC has been way down. They say it's up
so like there's no reasonable. That's the problem. Like of course, he can declare anything an emergency. That's the point of that power, that executive power, where it's just his decision that something is an emergency, and so he can do that. But crime is down, so they're making that up.
Well, he's been going absolutely insane in terms of how he's conducting business, and he's not slowing down. Like, he's just not. He is going for the throat with everything that he does. And these are just situations where everyone wants to point the finger at him. He is merely taking advantage of a system that was ripe for the takeover by somebody like this. That's the thing. You could call it whatever you want. You want to call it a form of fascism? You could. Again, it doesn't really matter necessarily, if that's a problem, because at this point, Trump doesn't care. I just feel bad for those that are still hanging around thinking that this guy is somehow going to make life better for this country. No, the only thing that Trump ever did good is that he just kind of exposed the entire system for what it is. That to me is really the essence of what his legacy is going to be. There are those who want to be fed fascism in a very kind and gentle way that the neoliberal establishment is all the more willing to do so. Whereas somebody like Trump will say, we're totally going there for the oil. Oh, we totally have to stop the crime because the brown people are evil. It's like, he's just saying the things that for a very long time were typically being protected, and now they're not being protected. And that's why he has become, again, Trump's legacy is January 6th, Yaha? No. Again, that's ridiculous.
His legacy is the Back to the Future sequel of what has happened to this country.
It's
His legacy
horrific.
is turning us into the complete farce that we have become. That'll be his legacy. It'll be like the last hand to touch that whole bag of crap.
Well, it's the Biff horrific future. That's basically what
it is.
That's what we have reduced ourselves to, is a world where, again, that's who Biff's 1985 alternate universe character was based off of. He was based off of Trump. Like that is a known thing. And that's going back to 1988, 1989, where, Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale were asked, like, who did you model Biff after? Anybody said, yeah, Donald Trump. Like, so is it really a surprise? I don't think so.
He turns it like he walks through the world like waving a magic wand, turning everything to shit. And he thinks he's turning it to gold. So it's, we have very different perspectives, I suppose, on what is shit and what is gold. But that's what it is. He just walks through life just turning everything into trash.
And that is why our country is falling apart at the rate that it's falling apart right now. Colin, do you have anything specific to D.C.? Or do I have to grab it?
And I don't know if he's there. Colin, I'm not sure if he's there, because I had asked him if you're choppy. Like, you look like kind of like you keep sort of breaking up, and I don't think it's on my end.
Well, I thought it was on your end, and then evidently, according to Colin, it's not.
Right, but then he didn't. Oh wait, now he's back to.
Yeah, he says that.
Okay, he says we're fine, both of us fine. So for me, you look choppy.
And you were chopping like crazy just a minute ago. I freaking hate that shit. But you know what? We're working with a limited budget here, guys.
It wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't matter. We have the best internet like possible that you could have where we are. It is what it is. Like, it's not, you can't throw more money at it to fix it. That's not the problem.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not here anyway.
But we're working with what we've got. And Colin, do you have anything, or do I have to grab it? That's funny. You really think that that's no? Okay. So as far as DC is concerned, DC locked. All right. So apparently the National Guard is in the street right now. That's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
And this is unbelievable. Colin, I'm sending you a text right now, so let's cue this up. They're really driving through the streets of DC in military tanks.
Yeah, I don't think, you know what, he wasn't satisfied enough with his poorly attended military parade. So he's all about demonstrating that he's the man. He wants everyone to know he's the man. So there is that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And this is a show of authority. And I have never been a fan of the nationalistic stuff. I don't like it. But a lot of people are into that crap. This is just him. He's basically just showing his dick here. That's it. He's like coming in, swinging that around. Like, look at me. Yeah. Is there a particular clip you had that you wanted to show with what's going on there?
Here we go.
Okay.
These are your own fucking citizens. These are homeless people. You guys are fucking cruel. Don't let them do this to you. It's abusive to you, and now you are gonna get fucked when you're fucked up and you have to go to the VA and they cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this. You have the obligation to refuse unlawful orders. Okay?
But
And
what
this
are
is
they
just the
doing
beginning.
there? But what is it they're doing there? I mean, it's a show, it's a, but what are they doing?
They're intimidating is what they're doing.
No, I know they're intimidating, but what is the rationale for this ridiculousness when we know crime is down? So, it's nobody's even buying that this is by any way a necessary thing to do. Nobody believes that.
No, but it doesn't matter if it is. That's really the point.
No, it doesn't matter if it is, but I'm just curious what their stated purpose is that they think they're going to achieve and how that will work. Because when you bring in a military to me, that means you should have some sort of strategic goal. Like when you employ military action, there should be like a plan, a strategy, a setup. Like you're on a mission. I don't feel like they have a mission other than just being there.
No, they do.
What? What are they? But that's okay. What is it?
The mission is to create a police state. That's the goal.
Exactly. Yes,
but basically strike fear into the hearts of every citizen to say you will not fuck with this government no matter what we do. And that's basically what they're saying. He doesn't care. He's not long for this.
It's also this too, and I agree with all of it.
Whatever you want.
It's a distraction from what's going on. It's okay, I'm not going to release the Epstein files. Okay, I have not created peace anywhere, even though I want the Nobel Prize. All these things are going on. I'm juggling all these balls of shit in the air. So let me distract everybody by
balls of shit.
Well, and this is all this. Have you noticed every time anyone or the issue of Epstein files or other things start to come up, there's another thing. Because it's all right. They're just wag the dog. They're just, that's all they do.